All right, welcome back to part two of our AI tool updates, and we are going to jump into a few others that we covered over a year ago, or maybe just a little less. Um, so today we're going to look at what are the things that have happened with Diffit, and Jeremy's going to cover that and the different things that our viewers should know about with those updates, and then I'm going to cover Brisk Teaching AI. So if you enjoyed our first one on Magic School and School AI, or if you didn't even see it, that's fine, and you can check these out because I know everybody's maybe using different tools or a variety. So today we'll cover Diffit and Brisk, and Jeremy, take it away.
They could also go back and they could watch one of the videos from before too, because
Yes.
there are playlists in our library for each of those different tools. So you can pause this one, open the other one, and then really get started with it, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's take a look at Diffit here and some of the things that have changed and updated about this AI tool and made it even better for teachers to use in creating all sorts of activities and materials for their students in their classes. So I'm going to start here at kind of like their main landing page with some information here. Literally anything, and that's what they use. They call it literally anything, can be made to help supplement your curriculum. And so I'm going to show you a couple of those things and a few of the updates that have been made to their page. But just to remind and refresh you what that's all about. And there's some great activities that are there. They feature some different ones. The other thing here that I wanted to show you and remind you of before we jumped into looking at the tool itself are just what do you get under the free plan versus what are you getting under the pro or the paid version. And I'm on this tab here that shows some of the differences between there. I'm just going to point out a couple of the big differences. The first one being the maximum output that you get under the free plan is 2,500 words versus under the premium of 10,000. One of the other key differences is when you generate activities in Diffit, it's often going to include vocabulary that goes along with it, which is awesome. And under the free plan, the Diffit AI generates the vocab words. If you're on the premium plan, you can choose your own words. Same thing with the assessment questions, the multiple choice and short answer. It makes them for you. If you want them to be DOK or you want to choose some of your own, then you have to be on the premium plan. But I mean, really, you can look at the questions that it creates. You can copy and paste them. You can always add your own, and you can always regenerate to ask it to make different ones too. So under the free plan, you can kind of get around that with just a few other steps that you would have to take yourself. The other big difference under the free plan versus the premium plan is with the export options that you get. Under the premium, you can export directly into your Google products. And if you don't have that, you can only export out to PDF. But again, you can copy and paste some of those different things, or you could once you put it, download the PDF, put it into your Google Drive, you can probably open it up as a Google Doc from within your Google Drive. So again, you can kind of find a workaround for some of those different things. One other thing while I'm on this page here that is kind of new, under the resources tab, if I look under professional development, they've given some ideas about using Diffit in the classroom and have handouts here designed to help you if you're an ELA teacher, elementary science, or even history teacher. And you can check out the different guide that they have available depending on what it is that you teach. And even if you don't teach any of those particular things, but you're still interested in using Diffit, there's still a lot available for you. So now I'm going to jump over to my main page here for Diffit. And when you go and you get to the starting point, it looks really basic. It looks like there's not a lot there, but don't let that fool you. There's a lot of power that is hidden behind this very simple landing page. And very much you can literally search for anything by typing it in here. And I know we've gone over that in our other video that we have done on Diffit. And we've talked about how you can create your materials based off of an article you find on the web or a YouTube video that you have or any other text or PDF that you want to upload. One of the things here, though, that is kind of new when you are on this main landing page, there is a tab up on the top that is called activities. And this is kind of the new part here. Instead of starting with a content source, you also have the ability, if you know what your content is and you have an idea of the student activity that you want to do with it, you can start in this activities tab. And they have all sorts of different activities geared by content, or that you can apply your content to based upon some of these different categories that you see across the top here. And there's also the ability to search for a particular thing if you wanted to. And so the example here that I'm going to show you is I was thinking about history and the American Revolution. And one of the things that you probably don't know about me is that I'm a big fan of the musical Hamilton. And I thought that what a better way to teach students about the perspective of the British king towards the colonists in the American Revolution than to have students do an analysis of the song "You'll Be Back" from Hamilton. David, you know what I'm talking about here? You look like
Yep, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So what I did is I went and I did a search and I found one for, it was called Song Analysis Bingo. And so I took this here and I went through and applied my own content to it by clicking Add Content with Diffit. Then it brings me back to this page. But notice that up in the top part, it has it linked under Activities and Song Analysis Bingo. So if I go through and I want them to use the song "You'll Be Back," and because I've done the search already, you get the idea of what it is that it can generate. So then I thought about, okay, well, what grade level is this going to be for? And I'm going to choose 5th grade. And I'm going to make sure that it's going to generate this for me. One of the other things I could tag to this is the history standards. If you are a premium member to Diffit, you can tag these standards right here. If not, where I entered in the term about the Hamilton song, I would just copy and paste it into there if you're on the free plan. But since I've got this one here, I could go through and I could tag one. And there is one about viewing things from different perspectives. Here we go. So here's the one: explain an event or events in the American Revolution through multiple perspectives, which would definitely include the perspective of the British people and of the king. So I've gone and I've tagged my standards. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to click generate resources and give it a moment to work its magic here behind the scenes. And as it does that, here we are. It has created a content or several things that are activities that you could do. It gives me an adapted reading. I get a summary. It, remember, creates vocab words and multiple choice questions that go along with it, the short answers, assessments, and even some open-ended prompts. But I'm going to jump to here and look at the activity that it created for me. And it will open it up like on several different pages or slides. So I could start out this activity and just have students maybe notice and wonder based upon this image, do they recognize who this person is? Kind of as a precursor activity before we get into watching the song on YouTube or listening to it. It has a little bit about where you could read about and take notes about the king, and then you can get into the song analysis part of it as well. There's different activities and worksheets that it creates that go along with it that you could check out and you could use, or you could choose not to. Um, the bingo thing here I thought was really kind of neat as part of this activity here. And it's actually asking you for listening to different types of figures of speech, whether they're metaphors that are being used, whether there's sarcasm maybe that's embedded into the song and the lyrics. And it does a really great job of kind of encapsulating using this as an engaging product and project for students in the classroom. So when you're done here, of course, you can customize, you can change things on here. If you don't like some of the text, I could edit the text. Or if you're ready, you can export the activity and it will take you to a spot where it will generate it if you have the premium account as a Google Slides. Or if you want to bring it to Google Classroom, you could. You can also choose to do the PDF. So I did this once already. It will look slightly different because every time you generate, it looks slightly different. But you could see here, it opened it up for me in Google Slides. And so it even gives me kind of directions, the lesson plan that the teacher could follow if they wanted to use all these different parts. So I think this is kind of a really great way to help if you have an activity in mind and just want to apply your content to that type of activity. I think it's a great way to go about doing that. So those are kind of, and I do hope you give it a try.